in a world.
I got her own podcast going on over there.
You did it too early. As always, Jim.
Zippy. That could be Johnny's sound. Okay.
They're like, my butthole just clenched up because...
If you are looking for a dead serious podcast with dry, humorless people, I'm afraid you are in the wrong place. This is Midnight Hollow, and we will dive into some weird, creepy, and downright strange stories with a twist of humor, bad puns, and a whole lot of laughs. So sit back and enjoy the podcast.
He said a Peter Pan collar on a shirt, but instead made a vulva.
A vulva?
What is vulva? Why are you laughing at me?
Who wants to take
All
this
right.
one?
Is this kind of like an inside joke I don't know about? What's vulva?
Not Volfa. Vulva.
Vulva?
Yeah. If you gotta ask.
It's a very special
Google it.
part in her special parts.
Pull it up on your phone.
It's her special parts and her special parts.
It's a special part of our special parts.
So when you look it up in an encyclopedia, you look under special parts.
Okay.
And then special parts under the special parts.
So is it like near labia? Is that what special parts we're talking about?
I'm guessing.
Oh my god.
And
guess-
that's
I
her
guess
It takes
sound.
like a solid 5 minutes before any sound effect ever plays on the show.
So
Just after everything John says.
Lisa, you do remember
What's a
that's your
vulva?
sound, right?
That's really loud. Yeah, I do remember that.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that you remember that. So when you play that, and anyone, that could be Johnny's sound. Okay, we're gonna start
Aw,
again.
Jim. Aw,
It's only when I
Jim,
walk out of the
don't.
shower in the morning.
And I
Look in the mirror.
and the cold wind hits the okay, and so we've already started because I thought that was pretty freaking hilarious.
Oh, no.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, we've already started. Little do you guys know. So I'll get my radio voice. In this episode of Midnight Hollow, we have Ireland's paranormal creepy entities and locations including Banshees, Nuckelavees, and Alp-Luachras.
Banshee. All I heard was Banshee
Banshees.
Nook.
Banshees, Nuckelavee. Well, let me
Okay.
start this over because this is fantastic
Wow.
podcasting.
Here we go.
In this episode of Midnight Hollow, we have Ireland's paranormal creepy entities and locations. This includes Banshees, Nuckelavee, Alp-Luachra, and Duckett's Grove. We wrap up the episode with some articles about mysterious light flashes, and that's not me pulling down my pants, kite-shaped structures in the Middle East, a concerned Florida drug dealer, and a woman who gets funky in the Waffle House parking lot. And what state would that be in?
Probably Florida.
Or Ohio.
Obviously, Florida.
It's Florida!
It's always Florida.
John has
So it's
not
always
been on
Florida.
this podcast
or New
long enough.
Jersey.
Yeah. Well,
Definitely Florida.
Yeah.
Florida's the
Well,
top.
once you hear this one, you'll be like, Florida.
So we're going to start out with a little bit of
Or
Ireland.
Russia.
A little Ireland. Anyone have a good...
An
Like,
accent.
wait, me
Yeah.
laddie. Like
Yeah,
Oh
there you
my
go.
god, this is so
I like
offensive.
dancing.
A dance?
A little like Irish dance.
I look
Yes.
slightly leprechaun-ish.
Yes, I'm surprised no one picked Leprechaun.
That's overplayed at this point.
Yeah, I know.
And also politically correctness.
It's a short person.
Yeah.
The Ireland's short person.
We don't cover elves either. Or
Come-
Santa's
oh, I
helpers.
didn't even think of elves.
Do we try to be
Yeah.
PC?
No.
No.
Okay. Like, you guys, I'm just going to show myself the door.
What part of this podcast makes you think
No.
up until this point that we're PC?
There's a photo of my vagina ceiling.
Yeah.
Like half of the show notes.
Yeah, did you
Where?
not see that, Johnny?
I have a vagina ceiling.
We'll just let you look it up. And it was the last episode, wasn't it?
I
Yeah.
don't
Yep.
know what you're
Well,
talking about.
Because
and
some
I
of us don't
wanna
listen
say the
to
wrong
our
thing.
own
Okay.
podcast, I guess. It's fine if you don't want to listen to
I
us.
don't.
I do.
If you go to Midnight Hollow, you'll see that. MidnightHollow.com.
Now available on
Podcast.
iTunes
And Spotify.
and Spotify.
Nope, we're not on Spotify.
Oh,
We're not on Spotify
We didn't have
because
enough
I'm writing
content.
that letter
We
as
have
a
enough content.
Spotify premium member.
And somebody out there, can they just go on to iTunes and just download one, just so I don't feel like a complete ass because we have 0 on every single podcast. No one's ever downloaded our podcast. They've listened to it, evidently, but they haven't downloaded it. So.
Well, why, if you can listen, why would you download?
I know.
That's what I said.
Is it going to be a
That's a silly
collector's
stat
item
to
or
have.
something?
So
Right. No one wants to download it. That's so much space on your phone.
you said load.
Oh
Okay,
my God.
so
It said download.
that's even
That was a
worse.
stretch, but okay.
That's what he said.
Who wants to start out with their Irish?
Are you going to keep saying Irish like that, though?
Irish
I could gladly start.
with your El Cupacabra?
Yeah,
Or-
El
what's it?
Cupacabra.
Alp-Luachra?
Alp-Luachra.
Al?
That's at least how I think it's pronounced. So
So we
it's
don't
also
know.
a joint eater, a
It's not a fatty.
just halfer.
Just halfer.
So like the whole thing about it is it's a fairy, and
hey. It's
not
for
all
everyone to decide for
fairies.
themselves.
Yeah, not all fairies are good, and like look like Tinkerbell and Disney.
Apparently, Tinkerbell was originally evil, though.
She is.
Okay. Well, then that's a little more fitting.
It's a grim
But some of
tale
them
right
can
there.
be like evil and disgusting and all that kind of stuff too. So this one in particular, at least like the crude drawings of it, are something like a newt because supposedly that's what they thought it looked like. But so like the folklore legend goes that, if you fall asleep somewhere, particularly near like streams and rivers, and sleep with your mouth open, because we all sleep with our mouth wide open.
Teeth out. Yeah.
Apparently, we swallow at least 8 spiders a year in our sleep.
That's
I
probably
thought it
not
was
the
a
only
lifetime.
thing.
Please tell me a lifetime, not a year.
No, a year.
No,
A
it's a year.
Yeah, it's a year.
Those
Yeah.
bitches
And you
are
have those
everywhere.
barking spiders. So
Why
think
am
about-
I not Spider-Man right now? Why am I not climbing walls and shooting web?
Because that's not real.
Oh.
You might be shooting web.
That's disgusting.
Anyway,
I
so
wash my clothes.
these things are like newt-like creatures supposedly, and they climb inside you,
Oh.
and they feed off of the pith
Without
of your
consent?
stomach.
And
Yeah,
where do
no
they
consent.
climb in?
No stomach. Through your mouth. And
Okay.
crawl down, your esophagus into your stomach and into your intestines. And the reason why I chose that one was I found it particularly interesting because it sounds
You want to
like...
be in more mouths.
We'll continue that discussion off the it sounds like a shitty ass explanation for a tapeworm.
Yeah.
So maybe they actually had saw something or experienced something to where throughout folklore, is that kind of thing that you do in school where one person tells one thing, a secret to one person, and by the time it gets to the end of the classroom, it's
Telephone?
it's completely different kind of thing. So, I mean, maybe it started off as, they actually figured out what the hell a tapeworm was. And by the time it got handed down and stuff like that, it was this newt-like lizard creature that crawls in your mouth near streams and, all kinds of stuff like that. But
Why is
Maybe-
it called a joint eater, though?
Or
a
maybe
joint eater.
tapeworms
because
make
it's
you hallucinate.
eating your food with you. It's a joint eater.
Oh, I'm thinking your knee joint or
Like
elbow
joint
joint.
No,
or
no,
something.
joint eater. Also,
your food.
the just halfer.
Gotcha.
So half of everything that you consume, it's eating as well.
The only thing that'd be worse if it ate your weed.
Yeah,
Joint eater? That would suck.
The new age fairy.
kick its ass.
He's got long hair, doesn't shower,
And a
drives in
flower
the van,
crown, and he just eats like the ends of your joints.
wears crazy shirts.
But the
Yeah.
way it's described too, it's like invisible, in which tapeworms are.
How do they know what it looks
Somewhat
like if it's
see-through.
invisible?
It's mythology, it's folklore. They kind of just do what they want to do and make stuff up. And the way to actually get rid of it is to eat a lot of. You ready for your sound effects? Eat a lot of salted meat, and and then go to sleep near the stream again. Ironically, the place where you first frickin' got it, and sleep just above the stream with your mouth open so that it can crawl back out and get a drink.
And then you take off so it doesn't get back in.
Right. So,
Huh.
but yeah, it sounds like a tapeworm to me. Is what I thought of it.
Maybe
Who's sleeping by the streams with their mouths open?
I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe in
someone
Ireland
really
that's
drunk.
the thing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, when you were talking about that, I was thinking maybe that's also an explanation if they got wicked drunk and now they got a bad stomach ache and hangover. Oh, the Alp-Luachra.
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 Sure.
I think I'm saying that right, ain't I?
Yeah, sure.
Alp-Luachra.
Ain't I?
Got in my stomach. Now I'm all And the wife's like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear. And then he goes out, get drunk.
Well,
again.
they
They go,
actually-
oh, it's the Alp-Luachra.
They used it as like a explanation for people like losing weight, and like all the symptoms that they describe about it are like exactly the same as somebody having a tapeworm.
Gotcha.
So it's pretty gross.
Kind of.
So it's pretty gross.
I mean, tapeworms, they're not, they're not lovable creatures.
I got a story about a worm.
Oh God, why?
No.
I thought we weren't going to talk about that today.
Yeah.
Actually, not that, though. After I said it, I realized, like, what the hell did I just say? I used to work at Vic's. I don't know if you ever remember Vic's.
Yep.
And we used to get some shady merchandise, like really shady merchandise.
What is that? I don't know them.
Vic's was like a humongous drugstore,
It's
but
like
it had
Walgreens almost or something kind of.
yeah, but it was like
Yeah.
3 times the size, and I had all these warehouse special type of stuff in it. And we used to get like at Saturday, I'd get a call at like 8 o'clock because we close early, and they'd be like, "You got to stay till 9." And this guy shows up, dumps off pallets, and takes off. Like no signing, no nothing. Like it was pretty shady. Anyways, so we got this spaghetti sauce, and the lady came back after buying it, and she opens it up, and there's a tapeworm
No.
all through it, completely through it. It was, oh my God. And the smell, I can't even tell you. It obviously was dead, but it must have been dead for a long time in there. And we were told to kind of hide the dates. Yeah, I mean, this was not the world's best company. There's a reason why they no longer exist. But yeah, that was absolutely disgusting.
That's so gross.
I couldn't have
How
spaghetti
many
for a long
people
time.
ate tapeworms and didn't know?
Or
Like the eggs.
exactly as I'm thinking, maybe not the tapeworm itself, but its excrement. Well, okay, anyways, on with a new story.
Yeah, thanks for that.
All right, enjoy that.
Yeah.
Enjoy that.
Stomach turn.
Would you rather eat all of those spiders in your sleep or eat a tapeworm?
Spiders in my sleep because I wouldn't know any better. And also, you can starve from a tapeworm. You can starve
Yeah,
from
I'm with Lisa on that
spiders.
one. I agree with Lisa. Ugh. How about
Yeah.
neither?
I would go with tapeworm. I would take tapeworm because then I could just eat whatever I want and not gain any weight.
And you can blame it on
And I have to do it
Alp-Luachra
once,
or
yeah.
Lucra.
And I would only have to do it once. And then I could just eat like 3 bowls of pasta.
I don't like the
And
idea
look
of
the
a worm
same.
swimming inside me.
It's not swimming. It's not really moving, is it?
Oh, they move a little bit, yeah.
They
Do you
like go
feel
in
it?
your
They
intestines
move, and then they're
back
also
out.
they're hermaphrodites, so they just reproduce inside you and
With itself?
With itself, and yeah.
You
Sounds
know
like
an
fun,
awful
right?
lot about tapeworms, Johnny.
I was reading all about this. I studied.
You're like,
That's good.
tapeworms. Let's do some. That's not
I
Irish. But
study.
let's do some research.
Well, don't you remember the article about the lady who had the worm in her face? Oh, that was gross too.
No.
It was moving in her face.
Oh, yeah, and it was in her eyeball.
Yeah, and it like
Oh,
go
dear
across her, like
Lord.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's
That
yeah.
was scary. From
Yeah.
hiking in
Yeah.
the woods.
That's great. I
That's
go
another
hiking all the
reason
time.
why I don't want to hike in the woods. All right, there, Nikki.
Yeah.
We're gonna do
The Nuckelavee,
Nuckelavee.
which apparently means devil of the sea. in
This is a
Irish.
very interesting. I read a ton on this after I saw it because it's like contradicting each other itself. Like anyway, you talk about this.
So it's a demonic sea creature, and it's supposed to look like a horse with a human rider fused to it. So not like a centaur, but like a horse, but also a person fused onto the horse. And
Like a growth.
its human arms are so long that they can reach the ground. Some descriptions say there are 2 human heads, but there's also a horse head, which has a very large mouth and 1 large eye.
Huh.
Sounds like a porno I watched.
Also, it supposedly has no skin
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's the pictures of it.
and black blood can be seen circulating through its veins since it has no skin. Like, this is the most horrifying looking creature I can think of.
Like, were people seriously high when they saw these?
I think they were just like terrified. I don't know what it could have been. They were so terrified about. But they can also apparently take another form if they're in the sea. However, no one knows what this form looks like because there have been no survivors.
Oh, no.
So it could be an otter, really. Like, and we don't know.
That swims in the sea.
It could be anything.
Maybe it's Loch Ness.
So besides
There's our Loch
being
Ness
like,
reference right there.
oh, there's our Loch Ness.
Sorry.
We know
Woo,
what
thank
it
you,
is
Lisa.
now. So besides being like absolutely terrifying to look at, People hated it because its breath could wilt and destroy like their entire crop just by breathing on it.
I think I know this person you're talking about.
And breathing, it can cause illness to cattle. So it could just wipe out like your entire food source in one go. And when it appears on land, it can be responsible for like, droughts and crop failures and any other sort of like epidemic, like any illness.
Do they blame that on the potato famine?
I was thinking that earlier, and I don't know. Because that was
Potatoes.
potatoes. But in theory, if this was like a real thing, that it could have caused the potato famine by breathing on it. By breathing on a potato. And apparently there are 0 good qualities to this cryptid. There are none. Like, I was looking and looking and looking to see if there was like, is there any other reason this exists? Like, is there a good thing? Is it helpful? Does it do anything else? Like, no. It's just a straight up baddie. Like, there's nothing else.
Baddie. Well, it has no skin and black blood coursing through its veins, so I don't think it's got a...
And it's considered so demonic that the early inhabitants of Scotland wouldn't even say the word Nuckelavee without immediately saying a prayer right afterwards because they were so scared of it. And it can be angered by the smell of burning seaweed, which is like apparently a common practice to like fertilize your land before sowing crops. So if it smelled it, it would just be like pissed and like destroy everything in your village. It's legit terrifying.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's the most random things put together.
The only thing you can do to like escape it is to cross or enter a body of fresh water because it can't tolerate fresh water, which means that if it's raining, it'll just stay in the sea. But other than that, it can come out whenever it wants.
So it needs the salt.
Yeah, it's a salt creature. So
which is unusual because salt and demons don't mix.
Yeah, well, the ocean. There's always like demonic ocean and sea creatures, yeah?
True.
Like
I watch too much Supernatural, and if they have to ward off a demon, they always use salt.
Like in a circle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should make our own.
Because
that's going to be on our, we're going to unveil our,
One's
each
going
one
to be
of us.
5 in a couple of weeks. The other is 4.
Each one of us is going to like figure out a part of the demon, and we're going to put it all together, and we're going to figure it out. We'll unveil it next episode. The Midnight Hollow demonic thing.
This sounds terrible.
The Midnight Howler.
Ooh. Sounds like
That we got a name for it.
Creature.
Midnight Howler. Just a quick editorial note that I'm going to cut a little bit out of our podcast due to time constraints. This is where the podcast went a little bit off the rails. I know, shocker. And just so you have a little bit of context of what's going on, we have somehow started talking about a pussy sandwich in regards to Ireland and its legends. So, just go with it.
Get your sister's foot out of your mouth. Like,
would that be a pussy sandwich? I'm just
Yes.
asking. Asking for a friend.
for a friend.
Yeah, it's a pussy sandwich. Okay, Lisa.
Meow.
The next Irish monster is a pussy sandwich.
It's a pussy sandwich. Arr. Oh, that's a part.
Arr. What? Are you thinking about Puss in Boots and its little pirate hat? And that's where the sound came from?
That could be part of our demon.
Puss in Boots?
Pussy sandwich. I don't know.
Oh my god.
Lisa,
That sounds
save
like
us.
an article at the end of the show we would cover.
Yeah.
It's like disgruntled Arby's employee put sandwich down pants.
And they would be from
And
Florida.
have
Yeah, it would
vaginal
be.
hair in it.
Did you say vaginal hair? I don't think it's a
I almost
pube.
spit out my drink.
I've never heard anyone say vaginal
Vaginal hair.
hair. That's not a real phrase.
That's an extra 50 cents. Lisa?
I feel like I
I
should
thought
stay
you meant
silent.
spitting was an extra 50
It's an extra 50
Spiral
cents.
a little more.
It's working.
You gotta mix it with the Arby's sauce.
Oh,
the vagina hair.
sweet and
Or
sour
other
sauce.
Horsey sauce.
Okay. So you're gonna be doing Duckett's Grove, correct?
Yeah.
Duckett's
Okay.
Grove sounds gross now.
I know Duckett.
Yes.
Ducket goose.
Some of what Lisa's gonna say will tie into mine too, so that's why I wanted her to go first, and then I'll just talk about my banshees, my ex-girlfriends, whatever,
Oh
same
my
thing.
God.
That's why they call you Zippy.
Yep.
Oh my
Because I
god.
get the hell out of there quickly.
Yeah, that's why.
Yep. Yep, that's it.
That's all we need. All right. So, Duckett's Grove is actually home of a banshee. Duckett's Grove actually started out as a 2-story house in Ireland. I have no idea where this mic
What-
is.
Isn't
Sorry.
a grove like a forest?
No, it's surrounded by a forest.
Oh.
But it's actually a chunk of land. It was purchased by the Duckett family, who came to Ireland, grew in social standing from Dublin, and became pretty influential, and decided to basically rebuild this house into this humongous Gothic masterpiece in about 1830. They threw a lot of lavish parties with a lot of socialites, all that. So the main guy who lived in this house went by the name of William Duckett. He was a bit of a philanderer. So he was married.
For all our viewers out there who probably have no idea what a philanderer is.
Why are you underestimating
Yeah.
the IQ of our listeners?
What's
So
a
he was a male whore.
Okay, thank you. I like that better.
Yeah.
He ended up marrying his second wife, Maria Thompson, in
I thought you were going to say his second cousin. Sorry.
Could be.
Might have been.
It could be.
In 1895, when he was 73,
Oh.
and brought her and her daughter, Olive, to reside at Duckett's Grove.
I'm sorry, Olive for a name just cracks me up every time.
This is where the story gets a little bit interesting, because William passed away in 1908, and Maria and her daughter, Olive, became the sole survivors to stay at Duckett's Castle. Maria ended up abandoning the property in 1916 to live in Dublin, and her and her daughter during that time became quite estranged. When she died, she was very furious with Olive. Apparently, she left her nothing in her will except what's known as an angry shilling, because she was so pissed off
Angry
at her.
shilling.
Just
Huh.
one.
Olive was like not having that. So she went to court, and
Did she
in a
get
week and a
Popeye?
half long hearing, it was revealed that her and her mother actually had a very physically violent relationship.
These
Much
beat the shit out of each other.
much to the shock of the Dublin social scene. So Maria was given a cash settlement, her mom. So I guess this was before she died. This article kind of spirals a little in the middle. And the Ducketts of Duckett's Grove were no more. Let's fast forward to 1933. April 20th, the house actually caught on fire and was pretty much destroyed. No one ever figured out what caused the fire, but ever since then, that fire stirred up what's known to be a bunch of agitated and angry spirit that must have resided within the house.
It's probably those two girls still fighting it out.
And the most notorious entity that has been spotted is the Duckett's Grove Banshee. And they say that this particular banshee was caused by a curse cast by the angry, grieving mother of the young girl who had been having an affair with William Duckett and was riding on the estate when she fell off her horse. The bringer of death, the banshee, can be heard shrieking on the wind through the ruins of Duckett's Grove. And servants have distinctly been heard working in what was formerly the kitchens and pantries of the Phantom House.
And the surrounding forest is also haunted.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lovely place.
A banshee is a disembodied spirit that can appear in any of the following forms. A beautiful woman wearing a shroud, a pale woman in a white dress with long red hair.
Isn't
A
that
woman?
the same thing?
Probably.
Yeah.
I probably should have reread this before. A woman with a long silver dress and silver hair. A headless woman carrying a bowl of blood that is naked from the waist up.
I've never heard that one.
An
And
old
some
woman
clothes.
with old woman with frightening red eyes, a green dress and long white hair, or an old woman with a veil covering her face, dressed all in black with long gray hair and blood coming out of her eyes. So that's kind of how it's seen. And as Lisa said,
So
correct?
you exclusively just date old women then?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're an old crone, an old bat, you're probably going to turn into a banshee. Just like Lisa said, they are usually the Ireland's Grim Reaper. You see them, you hear them, shit's going to go down.
Yeah.
You're done. They're actually really originally called Keening woman.
Yeah.
The Keening woman.
Keening?
Keening?
Yep.
It's like a form of lamenting.
Yep. The Keening woman may, in some cases, be a professional, and the best keeners would be in high demand. So they're like certain types of singers, but they're like this really weird Irish singers that have like these weird voices. I guess it's kind of weird. If you haven't noticed, I said it.
I have a question. In your research, did you notice that they were related to the Catholic faith?
That I did not see.
Because apparently if you do go to Duckett's Grove and you bring a rosary or any sort of Catholic relic, it'll stir them up. And that was apparently an issue that Duckett's had because they detested the Catholic Church and they were Protestant.
Oh. I did not know that. That's not in any of these.
Also, another fun fact that I actually learned from watching the Destination Truth with James's secret lover.
Yep.
My man crush.
Is you can find like various things laying around the ruins. Like there's a comb, like an old comb that a Victorian woman would put in her hair to hold it back. And they tell you that if you find that, to never touch it because that's how you can summon the Banshee and she'll immediately kill you.
And or stick with you for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yep, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they find, Josh found that. He's like, what is that? And they go, don't touch it. That's
That's
an
comb.
it's an old comb. It's got cooties.
Sounds
Don't
dangerous.
touch that comb.
It's got cooties. The Banshee is someone who tells you a family member is going to die or has died. So sometimes if it's at night and they're farther away and you hear them, it's probably not you. It's going to be someone in your family. If they're in your face screaming, you're done. You're going to die.
But they don't kill you. Something else kills you.
Right. None of the research I did said they were violent themselves. They acted in a violent manner, but they were never violent. They would never attack you.
Right.
They're just spirits. They can't. They're not in the show Supernatural where they can kill you. So
how many times have we referenced Supernatural on this podcast?
Well, I'm on season 3 now, so.
I have
and they
not
got like
seen
400
any of them.
seasons, so
I
who
have
knows
not
what-
either. So.
Is it good?
You
Is
two
it
would
worth a
love it
binge?
because I don't know anyone who don't find those guys. Heck, I find them attractive.
That's not enough motive for me.
Yeah.
It's really good though. You absolutely should try it. Have you seen it, Johnny?
Nope.
Supernatural.
I like those
Nope.
guys in the Vampire Diaries.
Vampire.
Oh yeah.
okay.
Is it Ian Somerhalder?
Oh, I know the Vampire
Oh,
Diaries.
yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
He's pretty.
He is really pretty.
Oh boy.
So we were talking about the bad banshees, but
Right.
there's actually good banshees. So
they just scream in happiness.
yeah, I
Throw
guess.
confetti
They're
everywhere.
those woo girls at the bar.
Yeah,
Like,
woo woo. No, these are the ones that kind of when the banshees came about. This was part of it. Before the
They
legend
came.
took them to the evil side, they would sit there and sing, and that's where Keening came from. The Keening girls who could sing really good, they would be just singing like a sad song and all that, and it really didn't mean much, but they were just there after death singing, doing what they did, and then the legend took a turn for whatever reason. I couldn't figure out why. That then they just turned into the Grim Reaper, because I guess that's just cooler than just some
right.
sad broad sitting on the corner wailing.
Sitting on the corner.
But
Just crying.
last thing I want to talk about
Fetal
banshees
position.
is where they kind of came from. Other Irish mythology stories.
Came.
And you're yelling at me about load?
Right.
Yeah.
What,
Load
was
is
it load?
grosser.
Yeah,
Yeah.
load is definitely grosser. It's a little more descriptive. You feel the weight of the word.
Yeah. Load is definitely like, damn, I got to clean this up. Other
Wow.
Irish mythology stories related to the Banshee say that she is the ghost of a young girl that suffered a brutal death, and her spirit remains to warn family members that a violent death is imminent.
Here, wait.
Speaking of that, Johnny,
What was that one? Did it say ham?
Yeah, it was a ham.
It's a ham horn. I didn't know what it was.
A ham horn.
It's a ham horn.
let's hear it again.
I like that. That's my new turned on sound.
Ham.
Ham.
So, Johnny, everyone here has told us
Oh,
what
yeah.
their... I guess I was calling it the tingle alert, at least for
tingle in your
girls.
dingle?
Anyways, guys, it's just... if your wiener made a sound when it got aroused,
Oh, I don't want to know.
what
We all know
what
each
sound would it be?
other's.
See, mine is just It's easy. Born. Nikki, what was your tingle sound?
I think it was like a Tinkerbell
The
type
Tinkerbell.
sound. Yeah.
And Lisa, what was yours?
Wow.
What would yours be, Johnny?
Yeah, that's what they say.
The sound.
What was Anna's? Do you remember? Oh, it was the wildcat, right?
Yeah, it was the cougar.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Well, this is perfect. This is exactly.
that was Anna's.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never even really thought of that. That's kind of a. I mean, who would think of that?
Me. I thought of it.
I think I'm going to change mine, like, when I get aroused.
It's going to go, aw, Jim, no,
It's gonna
Jim, no, aw.
Can give you a golf clap.
Yeah.
Is that why they call you Zippy?
No, this is Johnny's. Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
That could work. That could work.
A gurgling stomach.
Yeah, it would be
I don't know
something.
what
It
that
would be
was.
something like that.
Like a gurgling stomach? No.
No, something like a.
In a world.
I got her own
explosion.
podcast going on over there.
Yeah, an explosion.
It just sounds like an explosion in your pants.
It's the beginning of. It's the beginning of a preview for like any Avengers movie or
That's
Fast
true.
and the Furious movie. In a world
Yeah.
where
it would- yeah.
vampires exist.
Where there's chicken salad and
Would be something yelling. Would have to be some kind
Where
of
she
yell.
ate. Where she
Ugh.
ate PB and J.
Not like that. I think more of like an aggressive type yell.
Is it a Tim Allen Toolman?
Yeah, like a what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
And then
All right,
Wilson
on
pops
with
his
our-
head up over the fence.
Head being the
Yep.
key term. The Middle East has dotted, or
Better
They're
watch
spotting
where you
it?
go from here.
the Middle East is dotted with thousands.
Yeah.
Agreed. With thousands of puzzling kite-shaped structures. Johnny, you said you said it wasn't too puzzling. Why was that?
At least I didn't think. Well, I don't know. I'm not a historian or anything. But like looking at the structures, the way they are, you can see along the edges of them, they come to points, and at the points they have circles. And from somebody that will now have to admit that they're into like nerdy kind of historical military things and stuff like that, it looks like a fortified structure.
Oh, okay.
Or like the remnants of what they were, because it looks like posts where you have a viewpoint over all the walls around it.
Okay.
So, and you can see looking at the one, it's got like a bunch of those circles kind of in the front, which almost looks like a gate, like where a gate would be.
Mhm.
And you can see the one where, they say it looks like a kite. So I guess what you would refer to as like the string part or whatever looks like a road leading up to that. And that's where the majority of those circles are. So it would make sense that would kind of be like an entranceway, I guess, that would kind of like all fit together. At least that's the way I kind of immediately looked at it.
Makes sense. Thanks for ruining the mystery, though.
Why is that the mystery?
Yeah. So if you want to read more about that, midnighthollow.com.
Well, is it still a mystery? Or it doesn't say that, does it?
Well, it's clickbait, so it
Oh.
still says that.
So on to Florida cocaine dealer.
No, mysterious light flashes are coming from
Oh.
deep space, and I have just found more. I actually have that on the website, www.midnighthollow.com.
What website?
It's
Midnight Hollow.
www.midnighthollow.com.
Let me clear my throat.
That's close. That's close to the song there. Yeah.
Yep.
So there's mysterious light flashes that are coming from deep space, and they found more of them. I have that article on www.midnighthollow.com. Then, yes, we are going on to the Florida man. So, of course, Florida. Florida drug dealer calls 911 to report missing cocaine.
God.
This is part of our because
I'm missing
Florida
a cocaine.
corner. What?
Single.
Yeah,
Just one
just
cocaine.
one of the cocaines.
I think
One
it was
cocaine.
multiple cocaines.
I'm missing one cocaine, sir.
I'm missing a cocaine, yeah.
A cocaine.
How
He was-
stupid do you have to be?
They live in
Well, he's probably
Florida.
high.
That's true.
High.
I think that
and
was the point of the article, is that he was clearly high.
very, very high.
And he
Did they
freaked
find
out.
it for him?
It doesn't really get into it. It's on Reddit.
It was
From-
in his butt.
Yes.
Could be.
From what I gathered,
Would
it's
be.
like when you're looking for your phone, but you're holding your phone.
Yeah.
And you can't find your phone.
I do that with my car keys
I do
all
that
the
when
time.
I'm talking on the phone. I'm like, hold on. I can't find it. Give me 1 sec. I got to find it before I leave. And then no one is like, the idiot on the other end of the phone's like, oh, did you put it? Is it on your bed? And you're like, I'm talking to you.
And then our highlight.
Highlight.
Of this highlight. Hold on
Oh,
a
that
sec.
should have been our highlight.
hate
Oh,
this.
Jim, no. Dead silence for 5 minutes.
Look at this clam with pearls in it. Isn't that cool?
Look at this clam.
Sorry, I'm like randomly on
I don't
Reddit
think
right now.
I don't think Lisa lost her cocaine.
Think if you're in your
or one cocaine.
She's showing me
Okay.
showing me her
if
clam.
you're in your photo albums looking at a clam, it's probably not pearls.
Her clam
We
is so
call
good,
those
it's got pearls in
beads
it.
where I'm
Beads.
from.
Florida woman drops pants. Licks man dances naked.
Speaking of clams,
See, it was
Perfect
a
segue.
thank
It
you.
was a good
Thank you.
segue.
People underestimate
Like I
me.
say, Lisa's having her own little podcast over there and it's starting to.
she's poaching.
Yep. Florida woman drops pants, licks man, dances naked in Waffle House parking lot.
Well,
A Florida woman was arrested after she undressed and danced around a Waffle House parking lot before licking a stranger on the face. So she dropped her trousers, then licked. I thought she licked and then dropped her trousers.
no.
Okay. I just find that a little more interesting because if there's especially the lady I'm looking at, if she's approaching me with her pants down, I'm not going to get within lick range. There's no way I'm
You
letting her.
wouldn't?
Oh, come on.
Really?
Did you see
You?
the girl? There's no way.
Oh,
would
I didn't
allow-
see. No, I didn't
No.
see. the
She
girl.
looks like
I didn't
she
see a picture.
got hit in the head with many bats
Bricks?
and
With many
She was a dinosaur.
bricks of meth.
yes, she's struggling to be nice.
Okay.
She's doing her best.
Oh my God, her name, Freedom Ryder Zobrist is her name.
Oh,
Freedom,
boy.
Freedom Ryder Zobrist, 38 she's 38. She looks 60. Was arrested Monday in Pensacola on lewd and indecent
Pensacola.
See?
lewd and indecent exposure of sexual organs. And me and Nikki have a question about this, as well as disorderly conduct, battery, and assault. Battery and assault. She only licked the dude.
Just one salt.
Just one salt. Battery and
Assault.
assault. Can women really show their sexual organs? Because wouldn't they have to we can show our organs.
Oh no, they could show.
What?
Is
It
it an
depends.
organ?
No
It
one-
kinda-
Is their
No,
vagina an
no
organ?
one can show their organs in public. That's indecent exposure.
I'm just saying, can a woman
show organs.
show her sexual organs?
Oh.
If you see
Yeah.
the top of a slit, does
That's
that
not
count?
an organ, is it?
I don't know. Is that really?
Is it?
Does
Is
that
your
count?
clit an organ?
I would say that is right.
No.
I don't know how
think
you'd
so.
walk around showing.
So I'm thinking the women's organ is all internal.
Organs.
So you'd have to be like,
Well,
I
your
don't really want to explain
Spread
what you'd have.
eagle.
Yeah.
Like
Your
beyond spread
titties.
eagle.
Titties are organs, right?
No.
No.
No, they don't
Those are
count as
mammary.
They're,
organs.
they're glands.
Glands.
They're fat glands.
Okay.
They're
Makes
milk
them less
suppressor-
appealing now.
They're milk dispensers.
No.
Yes.
No, it doesn't.
I was gonna say milk suppressors. I don't know why
Milk
I said
suppressors.
Milk-
well, you
milk-
can suppress them.
You can
Milk
actually.
that. Dispensers.
Just like our society is suppressing them.
That's true. Free the titty.
Free the nipples.
That too. According to the police report, a Waffle House employee asked
Was it a blue
Zobrist-
waffle?
A waffle. Waffle House employee
Oh my
asked
God.
Freedom. Her name is Freedom. Yeah, Freedom to leave the restaurant due to her behavior. Freedom later returned and verbally abused the employee. She also threatened to get a gun and shoot the man in the face, along with all the restaurant employees and customers.
Which is a disgrace to a Waffle House,
I
which is
know.
basically like church
Agreed.
to many people.
Following the conversation, Zobrist walked to the parking lot, pulled down her pants, exposing her, again, sexual organs.
Blue waffle.
Don't ever look that up.
Stuck on blue waffle now.
She then began dancing around in the parking lot. And she was completely sober. She had to be.
Well, how waffle.
There you go. There's our pun for the day.
I
See,
hope
gotta
they
have
got
a
that
little-
all ironed out.
Alright.
We see. I need to have like a little ding. And the winner of the pun of the podcast is Nikki.
Hey.
With her pants still down, Zobrist walked up to the Waffle House employee. Like I said, at that point, I would have
Just
been...
waddled over, pants
Exactly,
around her
like,
ankles.
He
So
wanted
how
it.
long did
He
it take
wanted
her
it.
to get over there waddling? And those are like high-waisted acid wash jeans.
Exactly. And he wanted it. Come on. Because I'd be like, what are you doing? Get away. And I'd be moving away.
Just go inside.
Yeah. Do something. Or get in your car and drive off.
Yeah,
Well,
if your boss is like, why'd you leave? Feel like a lady approached me with her pants down after she said she was going to shoot up the restaurant and tried to lick me. So I left. Can you get someone to cover my shift for me, please?
Or, I just stood there because she seems safe and nice.
Is that a sound effect of her or?
I think so.
Oh.
Probably part of her sexual organs having
Her
trouble.
sexual
Urban
organ.
Dictionary compares a blue waffle to a messy kebab.
Messy kebab.
In case you're curious.
I was forced to look it up. And
Why did that make me want Greek food?
I know, right?
Yeah. Sounds really good.
not after you see a picture of a blue waffle. A witness says Zobrist also blocked his vehicle inside the parking lot and danced naked in front of his car.
Sounds like a ritual.
That's exactly what I was thinking, like a southern...
Like Stevie Nicks took a wrong turn somewhere.
Yeah.
Actually, no, Stevie Nicks she's beautiful.
She's beautiful.
So
She's stunning.
So he got in the car to try to get away? Is that what happened?
No, she just pulled her car in front of his car
And then dance
and blocked
naked
it,
around.
and then danced naked around the car.
like a ritual. Just
Oh,
imagine
okay.
like flailing arms.
Nope, she just stood in front of the car,
Oh.
Look at it.
Wow.
showing her sexual organs.
Maybe she was twerking.
Oh,
Is that
But like
still an organ?
frontwards twerking.
Front.
No,
Front
like
butt
that, but
twerk.
twerking far enough to where you can see.
oh,
You
see,
can
that's how they're showing the sexual organs because it's
Inside.
flapping so hard.
Oh God, no.
I don't know why I did that. It's probably
That's her
viewers that
flapping.
He's doing like a misting motion with his hand. Like when a priest blesses you with holy water.
This is spiraling.
I was thinking more like a
Worse
blinky
and
light.
worse.
But okay, we'll go with the
And also
We
with
literally
you.
just compared a vagina to a priest.
No, I compared his hand motion to a priest.
I'm glad it's just to a priest.
How do you get a nun pregnant?
How?
You dress her up like an altar boy.
Wow.
We're pushing our non-PC stuff later in the podcast now. All right, so this was a good podcast.
Well,
Lisa,
we didn't insult any Irish men or women.
with my accent, definitely did.
It wasn't that bad.
I was hoping
Arr.
I was hoping
Shiver
the one
McTimber.
thing we didn't do was racism. Like we covered everything else, but that's not
We
even
definitely
racism.
insulted
That's
the
like
church.
what culturism.
Culturism. I don't know what that would be called.
I don't either. It's too late in the day for this.
So, Lisa, you got anything to add to this lovely podcast?
No.
Johnny?
No.
No, me laddie.
Oh my god.
See, there we
And
go.
there it is.
Now it's bad.
We've recovered from my Arr. Nikki, I know
I-
you don't like to be asked to do extra,
to contribute at all.
but do you have anything to add?
I wish you wouldn't ask me that.
Did you catch that?
Irish for a Guinness.
Oh yes.
I think as the podcast moderator, you should have gone out and bought
You
us
bought us
Guinness
Guinness.
for all of us.
Though 2 Guinness in, I'm going to show you my pot of gold.
I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to
Get her
do the
Guinness.
sugar thing again.
What?
I'm not doing the sugar thing again.
No,
No, I'm dead right now. I'm just like,
you did it too early. As always, Jim.
I'm zippy.
It was just real quick, pew, pew, and then
You're
that was
done.
it.
It's the joke that keeps giving.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Just burned out too fast, huh?
Spermed out too fast.
What?
Burned out too fast.
Women's sexual organs. Sperming
Sexual
out.
organs. I'm going to have to Google that now and see
What is the exact definition?
of a sexual organ.
Well, thank you for listening to Midnight Hollow, episode 2. And does anyone
Of
want
season
to?
2.
Anyone want to end this episode? Nikki, you want to do this one?
I feel like you always yell at me for getting it wrong.
No, yell at her for getting it wrong.
I thought you yelled at me.
We probably
Anna.
don't actually know what it is.
We both get it wrong.
We both
I
get
guess.
Well,
it wrong.
Chuddy's the one who came up with it.
If you don't want to swallow, you might as well Midnight Hollow.
There we go. And Lisa was very polite last time.
if you prefer not to swallow.
I'd like it if you had the choice.
If you had the choice. My mama didn't raise no quitter. Please don't put that in. My mom's going to kill me.
We apologize, Nikki's mom. We really do. We're going to end on that.
Yep.